Greetings, hope you're doing well. Today I'm doing a quickie review for the newest album from Glass Animals titled Dreamland. This is the third effort from Glass Animals, who are known for their unique and interesting takes on psych pop, art pop, indie pop. Their debut album Zava had some issues for sure, but had a lot of promise that I think they fully capitalized on for their sophomore album How to Be a Human Being, which, contrary to most commercial and user opinions, I thought was an incredible album. It was so full of varied song ideas, colorful production, and immaculate performances. It is, to me, one of the most fun and unique pop albums in recent memory. So with Dreamland, I tempered my expectations because based off of the singles of the album, they were going for a more contemporary direction with the hip-hop, trip-hop influences. I was a bit underwhelmed by what I heard, but I was still excited to see how the album pieced it together. And for me, what I ended up getting was a pretty half and half experience. The opening title track is a dreamy, lulled slow jam that slithers its way into my ears. The song Tangerine has this juicy twang and rhythm in the chorus I love whenever it plays. Hot Sugar is kind of like a quaint dancehall track whose lyrics talks about the fantastical allure of a person rather than who they actually are. Space Ghost Coast to Coast is probably my favorite song because I just love the songwriting approach on the song, using nostalgic entities to rationalize modern day mistakes. Like how a possible shooter got those ideas from playing GTA and Doom, only trying to be a hero like Space Ghost when in reality they're a villain. I think that perspective is incredibly creative. Tokyo Drifting has this great exuberant feature from Denzel Curry, and I love how the pace of the track gradually accelerates as the track goes on. And Your Love has this intoxicating scribbled synth line melody paired with a punchy hook that just will not let me go. The first half of this album is pretty eventful, but drastically falls off in the second half of the album. Like, the ideas and execution immediately feel inferior by a wide margin. Melon and the Coconut was way too gimmicky of a track for its own good, in my opinion. The song Waterfalls, Coming Out of Your Mouth, tries to use a lot of hyper vibrant vintage imagery to convey this extremely drugged out experience, but the instrumental and performances fail to bring any of that out in the track. It's the same case with songs like Heat Waves, and it's also incredibly loud. The track Domestic Bliss is a dramatic song about trying to understand why someone is staying in a physically abusive relationship and the emotional toll it takes on numerous parties. But the songwriting execution leaves a lot to be desired. And the closer Helium, while has some interesting lyrics for the listener to interpret about recovery and the cost of gaining something, was discombobulated to all hell with the way it was structured. Nothing was cohesive on that track or led up to anything, in my opinion. Not to mention, a lot of the interludes on the album are kind of pointless. I don't know why they're there in the first place. Overall, I thought the first half of the album was great. It has a lot of replay value for me, but at the same time, I was astounded by how significant the drop-off was in the second half in terms of creativity and fidelity. Regardless, I am curious to hear what the group comes up with next, because each album they have made has its own flavor, so that still has me interested in their future material. But yeah, not that big of a fan of this one, unfortunately. I'd give it a